are now Insta, Facebook, and TikTok. TikTok outside India still generates decent amount of money. Then TV. Again, it's difficult for smaller regional levels. So you watch any reality show, what gets played is typically the mass market songs. But it's a difficult task. It has to be done through someone. If you think you want to do it on your own, very difficult. Which is why it's important to get associated and come together. Because the fight is not between the smaller labels or new artists or students. It is about them getting collected together and then approaching it as a body. Right? हर किसी का मन करता है कि मैं ये सारा खुद करूं. But are you an expert on all this? Right? So it is better to get associated, because otherwise you will see the mass market, the same kind of songs getting repeated in all reality shows on TV. Same goes for public performance, same goes for sing. So you have to come together, similar sounding sound. Streaming services, everyone knows. Radio, once again. So let me ask you, so you are an artist, brilliant. Which part of the country are you? राजस्थान में कहाँ? उदयपुर. Fantastic. So उदयपुर का एक टिपिकल कोई साउंड होगा. आज से 7-8 साल पहले को उदयपुर में एक जो रैप आर्टिस्ट है, मैं नाम भूल गया उनका. ठीक है, उनका गाना मेरे को बहुत अच्छा लगा. There could be a typical sound. Let's assume. ठीक है, तो वो गाना वहाँ के रेडियो में चल सकता है. यस और नो? चलता है? आपका क्रिएशन चलता है? आपका क्रिएशन चलता है. यू आर फ्रॉम वेयर? पुणे. नहीं चलता. अब वो क्या है कि यहाँ तो आप MC स्क्वायर जिनके साथ मैं पैनल में था yesterday, और फॉर दैट मैटर चांद वालियाँ, इंटरेस्टिंग स्टोरी, 2 साल बाद गाना चल गया बिकॉज सम इन्फ्लुएंसर डिड समथिंग, राइट? A fashion designer or a bridal, something like that happened, and song was there for long because of the reason. Right? So MC Square, right? He's created something. उनका भी चल रहा है, but अधिकतर का चलता है. That's the point I'm trying to make. So usually trying to do it yourself versus coming together and lot. So if I have tens of artists from Rajasthan or from, right, then I can at least go and thump the table and say, get my work. So I keep breaking out in Hindi. My apologies, mother tongue, can't help it. So बचपन में कहावत सुनी होगी आपने कि एक लकड़ी टूट जाती है, बहुत सारी लकड़ियाँ एक साथ मारो तो नहीं टूटती. कहावत सुनी हुई. I'm just trying to see, you are fighting the mass culture, the mono culture. Today the song, all of the songs, sorry, I may get lynched for this in the city of entertainment, but it's a similar sound, similar everything is becoming mass, right? So if you want to do true music, you have to break out. Now because the breaking out doesn't work, people do the same thing. But the same thing, the bigger name is bigger. So how do you compete? So money, coming back, so money gets made from all these avenues. IPRS is a must. Usually आपने बोला मैं कंपोजर हूँ, मैंने गाना बना दिया, बढ़ ले बस मेरा काम तो हो गया. तो कौन सा नंबर होता है? IPI नंबर, ISDN, ये सारे नंबर लिए आप? नहीं लिए. ISRC is for sound recording. Sound recording is that music label wala part. What about the left hand side of it? So just for you, I'm not peddling my company. I'm peddling the industry. You are a member. तो आपने नंबर लिया है. There's a number. दिया ही. So live case here. आपका नाम क्या है? आंचल तेरेस राम. म्यूजिक कंपोजर हैं, बहुत बढ़िया काम कर रही होंगी. आफ्टर दिस सेशन गेट मी टू लिसन टू अ सॉन्ग. I used to run a folk music company called Beat of India. We had to close it down because obviously that kind of song is not heard by the masses. And for your knowledge, we discovered the grandmother of Dogra sisters. ठीक है। और 60 साल की उम्र में उन्होंने, मैंने और माय गुड फ्रेंड एंड माय प्रेडिसेसर इन माय कंपनी प्रशांत डोगर, वी डिड अ दिल्ली हार्ट पे शो। ट्रस्ट मी, आई नो डिसेंट अमाउंट ऑफ म्यूजिक, अबाउट म्यूजिक, शी इज एज गुड एज म्यूजिक। उनको 30,000 रुपए दिए, हमारे पैर चोरी थी, दोनों भाई बाहर निकल के फूट के रोए, फूट के रोए। She passed away a couple of years ago. But that kind of artist, but she sings pure music. Does she generate money? That is why the coming together of that outside the coterie is to come. So ये सारे पैसे बनेंगे, आपका एक नंबर होता है, ऑथर का नंबर होता है, कंपोजर का नंबर होता है, आपके केस में आप दोनों होंगी, टिपिकली आप भी दोनों होंगे, बस आपको तो 2 नंबर आने चाहिए, वो नंबर कहाँ है? Like case studies, sir. Sorry. In fact, हाँ, तो आपके केस में 2 नंबर होंगे। तो you have to. Again, so you'll go back slightly more aware, and therefore you'll put attention. अच्छा, उसके बाद अभी सिर्फ अभी कहानी खत्म नहीं, अभी तो just चला। So ये सारे एवेन्यूज में आपका पैसा है। राकेश सर को बता दो, फोटो खींच लो, register with IPRS and start collecting publishing money. We call it, see media also represents the industry, IPRS also does represent the industry. We call it the insurance or the pension. You don't work for a company. You will not get medical insurance, life insurance, whatever. This is your insurance. Because the publishing money will keep coming lifelong. And if your song gets picked up by Netflix, the synchronization, therefore publishing. Sync में भी publishing का एक angle होगा। उनका पैसा उनके बफर्स में जा रहा है 3 साल बाद by law. They have to take it as income and give tax on it. सरकार खा जाती है, उनके कॉफर्स में चला जाता है। गति sorry, Saturday afternoon, allow me a bit of humor, right? Right? गति किसकी है भाई? So we keep doing these kind of education sessions a lot. Register and start collecting publishing. This is your goddamn insurance. Right? If the body of work is large, appoint a publisher. Again, the same thing. आप हर चीज में एक्सपर्ट नहीं बन सकते. So there are people who are doing publishing as a job, as a work, as a source of income. They know कि कहाँ से पैसा. Even दलेर पाजी का भी मैं सेशन सुन के आ रहा हूँ. उनको कहीं पे उनका पब्लिशिंग का भी काम करवाया. क्यों? That guy is an expert. I am not an expert. I could have easily said as PDL, अरे भाई हम करके देते हैं, हमको कुछ नहीं पता उसके बारे में. Right? But as a legendary guy with top-notch content, some of it owned by Magna Sound, but still underlying works, author, composer, I'll keep repeating. Who collects the money? Whose insurance? Right? So appoint a publisher.
So could I ask you a question here, please?
Yeah, please. First of all, introduce yourself.
I'm sorry. My name is Sabita Lasrado. I'm here for my daughter, who's 17 years old, and she's a singer-songwriter. She's attending another session, so I came here to attend the session for her. And what I want to...
Wish की बेटी भी ऐसी है, 16-17, one of our technical partners. Right.
So what I want to ask you is, say for example, a song is being released and say it's played outside India. So does IPRS cover that as well, or is it only India regulated?
They do cover outside India also. If you become really big, and by God's grace, I wish you luck, your daughter becomes like that, then probably you want to look at bifurcating. But I would not recommend, because see, these are all statutory bodies. But अगर आपको कल को, my apologies, due apologies to IPRS, कल को अगर आपको मोटा चंक कहीं से मिल रहा है, I don't see. After all, you are doing it for generating money. You are not doing it as a service, right? So then probably you can. But ऐसा आपको चिंता नहीं रहनी चाहिए आपका पैसा उधर से नहीं आएगा. But what you should ensure is that your works are registered. If your works are fully registered with IPRS and you are working with a publisher, तो publisher सिर्फ एक जो automatic royalty आती है, they don't work only on that. They also go and plug the holes. So for example, which language does your daughter sing in? Brilliant. Arrest me case. Right? So London में कहीं बज रहा है. Who will go and ensure that that radio station or that small community radio station is covered? So that the publisher will do. That is where you need the publisher. Okay. After that, they will collect it. It will come through PRS to IPRS to you.
So if there is a body like IPRS in the US, you get like a percentage.
They are world over.
Yeah. So do you have an opportunity to register with them as well?
No need.
No.
This discussion will take after the session because you are talking on PhD level question. So, right? Right now for you, IPRS is the only. Chill. Grow big. I'm there. I don't do any work. My team does. मैं ऐसे भाषण देता हूँ, बातें करता हूँ. आप कभी भी मेरा ऑफिस में आ जाना, मैं आपको उस समय बता दूँगा. प्रशांत डोगरा.
Sir, my name is Ritika. I'm a singer-songwriter. I released a song recently, my first one. Through my verse, it's a distribution company.
Okay.
I'm registered with IPRS as well. My song got picked up on Red FM, and they basically played the song like on this one particular show for a few episodes. They sent me an NOC before they took the song up, and so that's the, like I'm quite confused about that in specific because initially the NOC said
You saw my action?
Yeah, I know.
नहीं, देवी लोगों को फर्क नहीं पड़ता है. The law says they still have to pay. You must have heard Atul Churamani on our board also. He said that yesterday. They still have to pay. Law.
But why do they do it? I'm quite curious. What is their thought process?
अभी थोड़ा स्लाइडों में और आगे चलते हैं. बहुत सारी चीजें होती हैं. कुछ मैं ओपनली बोल सकता हूँ, कुछ में मैं नहीं बोल पाऊंगा. एक ऑलरेडी बोल चुका हूँ जिसके कारण I may get lynched. You may get the news tomorrow. Right?
That's the part.
I'm पहला वाला वर्ड दे दूँ. तुमको मैं पहला वाला वर्ड दे दूँ.
Thank you so much.
अरे, we are here for the industry, not for us. So that NOC is of no use. In fact, on that panel, Rakesh sir was also there from IPL. Both of them covered this model. Right? There are enough fallacies. I cover enough fallacies. Some of them I can speak, some of them I can't. There are enough fallacies in the market. Right? The objective of these kind of sessions is to educate you.
Yeah, but it's quite an exploitative practice to even ask somebody to say that I am not a member of IPRS. Why would you ask an artist to not register?
तो IPRS के लोग यहाँ बैठे हैं, आपके पीछे बैठे हैं रूपा मैम, ये आपका. तो इन सबको पकड़ो और उनको बोलो कि आपको ऐसा बोला जा रहा है. They are against the law. Very simple.
I can send my embassy.
Okay, this is where a caveat comes. Caveat is कि how many such things can be processed. After all, they also have only 24 hours in it. Right? So होगा, धीरे धीरे होगा. See, these are fallacies. It has affected legendary artists also till about a few years ago, right, ma'am? And slowly, steadily, we are trying to overcome.
No, I appreciate you telling us this over here as well because I'm a music business person, so I technically should know. But I was dealing with this for a lot
So
of
if
time.
you are a member of IPRS, set up a session and tell them you'll work it out. See, it takes time. As I said, people have only 24 hours in a day. We all want to help you people, but beyond a point it comes. It may just make me happy. I'm not getting recorded.
now death knell for me. So I get leaked. Fortunately, whatever I leaked earlier was
So no news tomorrow.
not as yet. But me being me, I will say a few such controversial things. Okay. Ensure your music label is registered with some company for public performance. Now, in your case, right, your song got played on radio, right? So radio money is collected by who? It could be PPL, it could be RFPL, it could be BTL, it could be NOX. Is your label registered with them?
I'm independent.
Wherever you were distributing from.
I have to check.
Read the line again. Ensure that your distributor is, your music label rather, is registered with some company for public performance. So I'll just go back the slide up. So what is the role of a music label? Okay. It's not only about ISRC. It's not only also about doing, so you are a creator. The question that you need to ask yourself is, do you want to focus on creativity and leave the Munimgiri, as I call it, Munimgiri, accounting work, leave that to somebody else? Because if you focus, so you said business, music business person. So are you a music creator or a music business person? Which are you better at? Don't have to answer now. Don't have to answer. Right? So, will you rather spend time creating music or rather spend time collecting money? Right? Okay, your call. So, there is a lot of back-end work that goes. It's not only about ISRC, it's not only about artwork. For example, the profiles need to, I'm covering all that in a bit. Right? So, a lot of work goes on. So, do you want to part, for example, public performance now? Your there are a lot of technology also involved in distribution, DDEX, God knows what, right? Even though I'm an engineer, rather time I scratch my head, right? So, who will do all that for you? So, you are already distributing through somebody. That's your music label. Let me rest the case at that, right? So, that music label has to do a lot of work, including ensuring that your public performance is getting collected. So that was the point I was trying to make. Okay. Public performance हो गया. Distribution of sound recording by an aggregator is the easiest part. Very easy. Okay. Now, what is more important is ensuring that your content is marketed. As one very interesting label came to me and that was about 2 weeks ago and said, my songs are not getting promoted. So I filtered, just PDF, just filtered his language. 125 songs that day from just one language in half a day. So at the end of the day, one of my team members, she's sitting as Sunetra, recording me for posterity, and she will use those words against me a week later. Right, Saturday afternoon, okay. So, at the end of the week, she has to send 10 songs for recommendation. How does she select out of 600 that she has? And assuming she is from Spotify, Spotify will have 6,000, right? So, what steps do you use for ensuring content marketing? Distribution is the easiest part. What you need to look for in your distributor is read your contracts very carefully. क्या pitfalls हैं, क्या नहीं है, कोई अगर lawyer दोस्त है, if you have any lawyer as a friend, read those goddamn contracts very carefully. How are they straitjacketing you? How are they putting controls on you? ये नहीं कर सकते, वो नहीं कर सकते, ऐसा नहीं कर सकते, वैसा नहीं कर सकते. So even legendary artists have been stuck with that. I will not take names. They are absolutely legends of people, but even they did not understand it at that point of time. Right? Again, they were focused on creativity. So read those contracts. कि क्या है? What are the terms? So I use an FMCG analogy here. FMCG has, so you have a raw material, set of raw materials, then there is a factory, makes a product, then there's a distribution chain, and then there's a retailer, D-Mart or whatever. Consumer relationship is with whom? With D-Mart, with Future Bazaar or whatever. Who's making the product? The factory. So raw material क्या हुआ आपके केस में म्यूजिक इंडस्ट्री में? Author, composer, singer. Okay. Now if you are yourself the music label, fine. Or else there is a music label who does a bit of processing, technical. Then there is a whole distribution chain. So if you understand the FMCG world, what is the margin for the distribution part? Read your contracts very, very, very carefully. How much money is getting cut from you? Right? That's what you as an artist, as a creator, as a label need to work. Right? And then focus on content marketing. अभी इसके next slide में आएगा, हाँ, next point itself. Use all avenues on all DSPs. I had covered that in my session yesterday. Each DSP gives tons of options. Wink का अलग method है. Spotify का अलग method. They give tons of tools. How much are you using on that? So instead of trying to collect money and being the muni, being the bean counter, I see some non-Indians here, so let me switch back to English. Would you rather be a bean counter or rather do what I call it as a round song for your content? Each DSP has different facilities. How do you use them effectively? Right? So for example, there are some Puritan musicians who will say, oh, I don't want to do reels. Hello? You're out of sync with the times. Or else, I'm a legend, I say, मेरा नाम ही काफी है. अरे भाई तुम्हारा नाम काफी है, but वो इतना सारा entertainment overdose है. How do your users get to know that you have done something new? So Spotify profile, updation, interaction with your consumers, whatever, so it will get built slowly for you. Keep interacting, and your interactions will keep expanding your fandom or your user base or people who like that kind of music, and then one fine day you'll have a MC Square kind of situation or a Chandalia kind of situation. Right? So Chandalia again, I'll repeat. One fine day somebody said, Kaan ki waliyan, Chandalia, I've heard this story. Must be true. So use DSPs. Content marketing is key. Use all avenues on all DSPs. Distribution is the easiest one. I'll cover what is important in distribution, and that is where people like us keep educating a lot. Ensure your song rotation is kept as high as possible. Please ensure you use all the best practices. Whatever the successful musicians or successful music companies have done, read those, speak to people who can probably relay those best practices to you, right? That is where the game is. Try and, for example, what works on Insta? Okay, if I may ask, what kind of, I've asked too many questions to any other musicians here?
Sir, reels are trending.
एक मिनट भाई, तुम दोनों से बहुत बात कर रहे हो. हाँ, वो बोल रहे. What works on Insta?
Generally, from the trends that I have seen, it's either very catchy,
Engaging content.
Sorry, let's not play with English. Sorry.
I was saying anything that is very catchy, that will work on Instagram.
You're almost there. And after that, you have to try it 10 times, maybe one will work. So there are a lot of insights that we have generated. We've looked at each kind of content that works on Spotify or on Facebook or on Wink in each language, within language, in each genre, and then come up with insights. That is how deep you have to start going. Because consumer, you have to start understanding what your consumers are. Okay, I skip to the next slide. So this one is covered. Metadata, metadata, metadata. If you don't get this right, you think it is easy. Okay? So Prashant space Dogra and Prashant double space Dogra. Is there a difference? What is the difference? What does it entail?
Different.
अरे कंप्यूटर डंब होता है. कंप्यूटर डंब होता है. कंप्यूटर को आप 2 स्पेस डाल दोगे, अंकित, राइट? गाना का it will not get tagged to your profile. What is my mistake in that? Can I screen the 75,000 songs that come every month for me? Manually possible. That's why tools are there. Right? That is just one way. So double space becomes a special character. And special character, then it will go into a special place, which means nobody will find. Right? Or Prashant. So again, humor, Saturday afternoon. I'm a reasonably educated person. Both my degrees have a different name. So Prashant, Prashant. One place they drop the H, Prashant. The second place they have an extra H, Prashant. That is in South of India. You put it on the computer, it will never identify it as me. So spellings, and that's just getting started. Roles of artists, spellings, this is just the beginning. What are the content ingestion guidelines by Apple or Spotify? Just do these two well, you are covered. आपके मन मर्जी पे नहीं चलता है. So there are people, says Spotify for example, if there's anyone from Spotify, please excuse me, but I've given that feedback to you people earlier. Written by. So composer is also written by. ये उनकी पॉलिसी है, मैं क्या करूं? Composer is written by. That's how they display. So you understand their guidelines, work with people who will help you understand those guidelines, follow them. If you don't follow them, then you fall behind. Right? So again, whosoever you are working with has to educate you on these things. Otherwise, क्या होगा? For example, on Apple, you will get a ticket. The ticket means जो traffic policeman रोकता है ना, वही side में आ जाए. That's all. So your time gets wasted. Registering author composer with IPRS is also critical, and uploading details for the underlying work. So uploading on IPRS is also needed, very much needed. So it's double work, which is why I said, if you want to focus on creativity, let somebody else do this work for you. Maintain profiles on all DSPs. I said this. Right? आपको सिर्फ ये काम, आपका काम क्या है? आप क्रिएटर हो, तो आपको अपना प्रोफाइल हर जगह. It's all showmanship. It has always been. Entertainment is always showmanship. Right? So maintain your profiles, maintain your facades, maintain your aura. Oh, my English gets limited at this. Right? Yeah.
I wanted to know that if I have a release coming up, like say for example if I'm putting out a song next month, and I'm already registered with IPRS, at what point should I be registering that song with IPRS, and should I be registering that song with IPRS separately?
Rumpa man, please do the honors. So at what stage? After the release of the song on YouTube? Because that's when you get the asset ID or the whatever details. Sorry, yes,
Yeah.
yes,
No, so
like
that,
loop you.
so that is for everyone here. So there is a very wrong notion that if I am a member of IPRS,
Automatically you
sometimes
get.
IPRS का हाँ कहीं से जादू की छड़ी लेके it will magnetize like a magnet catch my song and put it into the database. It doesn't happen like this. You have to please take the effort. Whenever you are planning to release, the day is released on YouTube. Best like अगले दिन ही उसको कर दो because you have put your entire marketing mind during the release. So chances it will keep on garnering views, ad revenues and all. So don't delay in registering your works. So the more you delay, the more it becomes difficult for us to track and back it.
And if it is through the label, when the label uploads, then the artist, author, composer, and he tags the author and composer.
Okay, fantastic question. Thank you, Sudhir. So if it is, if he's working with a label, so he's a fantastic, he looks like a very good artist. So he works with Prashant Music. Okay. So he thinks, oh, Prashant Music will handle everything. Yeah, who's the author? So who's the composer? So who will register in IPRS? Prashant Music has no skin in the game in that. You have to register. If you are an artist, if you are giving, the rare guy gives a song to Welcome 3 as he announced today, he will still have to register that song. He will have to ensure that his song is registered with his whatever IDs. Right? Author ID, composer ID or whatever ID. There are multiple numbers.
Sir,
Yeah.
What if,
पहले आप अनाउंस कर दो आप करते क्या हो
Yeah.
so that we have
So-
context.
my voice is,
So, I'm a director producer
Yes.
in Hindi film industry. So, my songs, like I have 4 songs in my film. So, I've distributed the song with TuneCore. So, as a producer, do I need to register with IPRS?
So I use the simplistic slide, fantastic question again. I'll go back to the first slide. Left hand side for you people is the author composer part. Right side is sound recording. Sound recording is done by the music label. In this case, you are the music label, so you also have to do something. Right? Again, as I said, this is a entry level discussion right now. More detailed discussions can happen over a period of time. Yes, sir. आपका चेहरा जाना पहचाना कुछ पहले प्लेस नहीं कर पा रहा हूँ. Yeah.
I see you haven't mentioned publishers here, but IPRS pays the publisher or does it pay the author directly?
Okay, I think you walked in late. If the body of work is large, appoint a publisher. Does that answer your question?
And who's paid by IPRS? Who is paid by IPRS? Is it publisher or author directly?
So, underlying works is something that you can give an agent to do your work, right? So, the publisher can collect.
so are you going to,
Yeah. So like IPRS represents author, composers, and publisher. So who is a publisher? So as Prashant sir like rightly mentioned, if you are having a large body of work, it's not possible for you to do the Munin's work. So you are appointing a publisher to go and do that business side of the things.
Copyright violation. Munim's work is my copyright.
Okay, sorry. I will pay you separately for that. Okay. But when a royalty is collected, suppose if you have collected 100 rupees, 50 rupees will go to the publisher, and 25 will go to the author, and 25 will go to the composer. Unlike in abroad, where a lot of times the society pays the royalty to the publisher or the authorized representative, and then the author and the composer gets paid through them. In India, as per the copyright law, which is very strong, author's share of royalty will go directly to the author. And that person has to separately register with IPRS as a member to get the author's share of royalty. So the publisher will only get the publisher's share of royalty, the 50%. 25 will go to the composer, 25 will go to the author.
So typically in India, the music label itself becomes the publisher.
Yeah.
Typically. Okay. Better answer. I'm not that qualified for this. Yes, ma'am.
Hi. I actually represent an artist who's a composer. He's from Sri Lanka. His name's Shaman Sangeet. He's actually registered over 200 songs, but there seems to be kind of a dispute between is he supposed to be registering Sri Lanka for IPRS, or is he supposed to be registering here? He hasn't been paid out anything up until date, despite being registered. So is it different for every country, despite if you're a non-Indian resident, or if you're from somewhere else but you're making music here in India, or if you're making music outside of India?
Rumba band, once again. On popular
Sorry.
demand.
So we had a session in the morning, so I'm sad that
I'm
we
really sorry about
attended
that.
that.
Apologize.
So currently Sri Lanka doesn't have a copyright society. Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, they don't have a copyright society. So as an like a foreign national also, you can join IPRS. If you are working with artists in India and your music is in India and you want IPRS to collect on your behalf. So, but he has to join a copyright society to get the music being played in any corner of the globe.
So even if the music is being released from Sri Lanka, but it's being played across the world,
Yes.
can he still
Yes,
collect?
yeah, it is up to the choice of the artist and which copyright society he or she wants to join.
Right.
Ideally, if your own country has a strong copyright society, for example, a few years back, like India didn't, so like IPRS was there, but it was not as strong as it is now, or the copyright law was not in place in India. So a lot of Indian artists used to join PRS, BMI, ASCAP. But now when India has a very strong and flourishing copyright society, all Indian artists are coming and joining, or those who were earlier PRS members are now leaving PRS or BMI ASCAP and coming and joining IPRS.
Absolutely, I can vouch for that. Yes.
Yeah. So, yeah, you should definitely join, and if your country has a copyright society, the best thing is to join the copyright society of the country you belong.
And if they don't, then what would you suggest?
Yeah, they should, otherwise they will be missing their publishing
You
royalties.
said Sri Lanka and Bangladesh doesn't, so where should we register?
Yeah, they should register with IPRS because as per CISAT, which is a governing body, so they have told IPRS to please look into the territories which are not yet having a strong copyright society. So Sri Lanka and Bangladesh are like two of these territories.
So you should register in India? You said?
Yeah, with IPRS.
Thank you. Thank you.
So,
Sorry for taking your
no worries. It's good that you people came. So, as I said, distributing music technically is the easier part. The education behind it is the tougher part. So these are things that Ankit has started smiling already. Some best practices gleaned from some of the big labels. If you release a song on Saturday, by the time Monday comes, it's old news. That was midweek, so that we have time to work. Every store has a refresh time in the week. Some are Monday, some are Friday, some are God knows what. Right? So, Cosmos is our, sorry, I couldn't update the flight. Upload the content 1 week before the go live date because everything is now AI driven, algorithm driven, many of these DSPs. So, the best example I use for this is, let me take a non-PDL example, Arijit Singh. We have a few songs from him, but predominantly not. Arijit Singh has followers across the world, right? So their algorithms go and search worldwide. On somebody sitting in Bogota in Latin America has listened to Arijit Singh songs, they will go and search them out. It takes a week. If you don't give the algorithms time to fine-tune how to best place your songs, editorial playlist is definitely has an importance, but over a period of time it doesn't. So give that time. Sharing of song details, artist background. See, it's all about storytelling. So, what's your name, my friend? Pratham. So Pratham is about new artist, about to release a song. He still has to create a story. Or has to at least peddle his song. What is it about? What does it say? What do I stand for? So recently we had an obscure Northeast label, they have a very unique sound though. They released something which is very akin to, that song can become the theme song for climate change. Greta Thunberg को हमने tag किया उसके लिए. Right? So what is the story? The story about that song is, so they couldn't tell. We read the lyrics, this is like climate change. Go and type. So what is your story? So give that. Whosoever you are working with needs to do all this for you. Right? That's what a T-series does. That's why they are so successful. They also do a lot more anything. This is a very simplistic view. Regularly update artist profiles, hype on social media, your friends, so you are a bunch of friends. All of you are into music. Why not? That's what. Acknowledge placements on playlists, etc. So we'll come to questions in a bit. I'm just about to end. So content marketing, keep, for example, Ilayaraja, legend. But there was no cut on Ilayaraja for Pongal. Imagine. The best example for this is from the, Suresh sir is here, from the cassette world. Old, he grew up on cassettes. Some of you may not recognize all that. So, Khaike Pan Banaras Wala. I bought 4 cassettes which had the same song. Kishore Kumar Greatest Hits, Kishore Kumar in Fun Mood, Amitabh's Greatest Hits, Amitabh and Kishore. और दर्द होता था क्योंकि कैसेट का दाम होता था उस जमाने में 50, मंथली अलाउंस था 20, तो 4 कैसेट अगर ले रहे हो तो फिर उसमें एक गाना तो वेस्ट हो गया. बट अगेन दैट्स मार्केटिंग. सो कभी मूड हो रहा है कि यार अमिताभ एंड किशोर हैव सम फैंटास्टिक सेट ऑफ सॉन्ग्स, एक से एक है. कभी वो उस मूड में जा रहे हैं, कभी किशोर कुमार इन फन मूड तो इटर्नल, कभी भी थोड़ा दिमाग खराब हो किशोर कुमार इन फन. दैट्स अ कट, राइट? How is your cut getting done? And it's not only about only your song or your song or your song. So let's say 5-7 of you have a common theme. Yesterday I was talking to an artist who sings folks from the north of the country, Aba Anjuli. अभी उसके आसपास के गाने, I'm also a Kashmiri, so I'm also trying to look here. उसके आसपास के गाने कौन से हैं, उनका एक कुछ करते हैं. So find commonalities, generate playlists. It's not only about your song. Think from a consumer perspective. Consumer जब जाएगा तो वो ये नहीं देखेगा कि अरिजीत सिंह के गाने only from T series. वो बोलेगा अरिजीत सिंह across T series, सोनी, सारेगामा, PDL, प्रशांत म्यूजिक, प्रथम म्यूजिक. Think from a consumer perspective, you'll do well. Right? And solve showbiz. For example, कर्नाटिक एम बालमुरली कृष्ण का प्लेलिस्ट नहीं था. आपके जॉनर, यू व्हाट जॉनर डू यू वांट टू रिप्रेजेंट? मेरा भाई मैम, व्हाट अबाउट योर डॉटर? वाह,
India is growing. Ego is not there.
we'll have a conversation. Tell me the last great rock band.
Foo Fighters.
Hmm.
Dire upper one.
Okay, let's not hijack the conversation. We'll have this, right? Madhu Balakrishnan, no playlist. If your genre has to get represented, okay, great example. Indian metal songs. Have playlist. Bangaon. Think like that. There are enough metal fans, enough hip hop fans, but hip hop does not get enough space on any of the DSPs. So how do you create it? Create. For example, at one stage I used to be of. Have you ever heard rap rock?
Yes.
I used to be a big fan. उसकी playlist मेरे को दिखा दो कहीं. Apple में नहीं. Right? So create playlists like that, or discuss with your distributor. So filling the gaps. Best of Revati, best of Amrita Khanvilkar, Himanta in our hearts. For example, one playlist that I saw, देख के लगता नहीं, I do a lot of running, right? So भाग मिल्खा भाग is my playlist. Okay, On the Run is a playlist. मेरी एक playlist का नाम है Manna's Day, D-A-Y, not D-E-Y. Manna's Day. Manna Day मेरा favorite है, मैं वो Manna's Day में चलाता हूँ. So even the name of the playlist is a marketing angle, right? These are very bad names. Whosoever has done it. New songs. If you've reached a certain critical mass, then you have to plan your releases. That's what big artists do. Plan your releases. Start discussing. जब आप composer हैं, आपने पहले कुछ गाने का सोचा है, तो आप सोचो उसके बारे में कि इसको मार्केट कैसे करना है. Spend your time on that, not on the buninggiri. My sincere advice. Music videos, video bites. See, this is all become a showbiz. एक जमाना था कि आप एक गाना जाके रिकॉर्ड करते थे और पहले रिकॉर्डिंग के पहले सुरेश सर will vouch for it. You will spend 6-7 hours at least practicing in the studio. अभी क्या है, स्टूडियो में घुसे in and out, right sir? Why? Because world has become too fast paced. So अभी वो fast pace में आपको करना है क्या? सोशल मीडिया, आर्टिस्ट बाइट, आपको हर जगह आपके ट्विटर हैंडल में करना है, इसमें करना है, उसमें करना है. Unfortunately, but do it. Alongside, if you can do, there are still enough artists. अजय अतुल is one good example. आप लोग बहुत काम करते हैं, वो अभी भी करते हैं ये सारे काम, practicing the things. Right? We are from Pune, so but alongside, they also need to be in the present world. Do a lot of social media, push your song. So I'll just give you a few examples here, and that's, after that we'll do the Q&A. Assis Kaur. I'll not play the video because then it will become too loud. But so she's given video bites for a song which is not a movie song. She's now big enough, but she still does it for independent songs. So if an Assis Kaur can do it, why can't you? If you want to become as big as her, probably bigger than her, you have to do all that hard work. Right? Okay, now questions and answers. Half the answers will be done by IPRS, not by me. Okay, one encouraging sign, I mentioned that in my session yesterday. Look at the smaller. So it's not as if Punjabi, Tamil and Hindi have degrown in value. They've grown manyfold. But the smaller languages have grown fantastically. Right? So it's not as if, so English in India, probably, I would not write it off. Metal, English in India, my favorite. Let's see what we can do. Okay, questions and answers. Any questions?
My name is Varun Alvukar. I represent Pune-based music label. They are members of the team.
अरे which one? Which one?
CD.
अरे कौन सा लेवल है भाई? Ah, okay. Go ahead, sir.
So my question was, we were an old analog-based label, and then with this digital disruption happened. The process that you described very well, it's taken some time to stabilize and settle down and come to a state where it is. But when the next disruption will happen, as artists and labels, what is the best way that we can be prepared for it? Or do you see this as a steady state which will...
Keep discussing. Keep discussing. You cannot become, you are a creator. You are not a Munim. So let the Munims do their work. Keep discussing with them what is disrupting. There are a couple of, within the same trend, some small disruptions that are happening. How do you tide over them? Right? So you will have to keep discussing. You will have to be in the mix. अगर आप ये बोलो कि आप बैठे रहेंगे और आप बात ही नहीं करेंगे किसी से तो वो तो एनालॉग टू डिजिटल हुआ अभी डिजिटल से आगे क्या होगा एआई could be one. Keep discussing. Do you think I know all the answers? No. Do you think the board that I have a fantastic set of people, amazingly gifted people? Do you think they know all? No. NFTs is another. Right? अब उसमें क्या होगा कब होगा एक आपके पास एक न्यूज़ आती है सक्सेस की सो आई कोट एनीथिंग डिफरेंट थिंग माधवन का इंटरव्यू था अबाउट द साउथ फिल्म इंडस्ट्रीज सो ही सेड यू आर जंपिंग ऑन द 4 हिट्स व्हाट अबाउट द 600 मूवीज दैट फ्लॉप्ड एंड at that time there was a strike in the Tamil workers the Tamil cine workers association so don't you look only at the what is success in NFT what preparation goes behind it right so you have to look at it. But anyways, keep discussing, keep knowing the market. The basics are so. For example, have you read your own contracts of the distribution that you're doing? If you have not read it carefully, right? Again, a PhD level question. Let's start with class 1 first. Any?
So what should an artist do when there is no label who's looking for that similar sound? Let's for example, Angels and Airwaves is a band which is a very experimental space rock genre band.
Okay.
Yeah. So what should an artist with similar genre which is not very well known and labels don't want him to take? What would you suggest an artist?
There are enough companies that work with independents in India, abroad, right? If you want to go and only sit with those music labels, you have to look outside also. Enough people who want to do that kind of work. Yes.
So, there are a lot of artists here, I believe, and I guess after a lot of enlightening talks about IPRS, definitely everybody will go back and register with IPRS. I'm so sure about that. For sure. So, what I want to understand with you is, say for example, an artist registers with IPRS today and has already pre-released about say 5 or 6 songs earlier. So what happens to those pre-releases?
Want to take it up? Okay, allow me to cover it philosophically. आगे की सोचो, ठीक है? वो जो 6 गानों में, you take the first steps. When you get into a discussion table with them, you can also ask this question. Don't solve all myths, all solutions. Don't find all solutions to yourself. Look forward. You still have to grow big, right? Look forward. ये सारे भी सॉल्यूशन कुछ हो पाएंगे, कुछ नहीं हो पाएंगे, बट सी जो हो गया सो गया. आपको आज जो जितना समझ आया आप उसको लेके आगे बढ़ो. डोंट वरी टू मच. दिस इज व्हाट आई टोल्ड. आई विश को भी मैंने यही बोला. सो आवर टेक्निकल पार्टनर ऑल्सो हैज अ डॉटर एंड शी इज अ पियानिस्ट, माइंड ब्लोइंग पियानिस्ट. बोला छोड़ दे पीछे. Yes.
सर, सो आइडियली जैसा मैम ने अभी बताया कि जैसे आप गाना सुनते उसके दूसरे दिन रजिस्टर कर दो गाने का सारा.
जिस दिन लाइव हुआ और गाना आपको इंजेस्ट कराना 7 दिन पहले.
7 दिन पहले. तो जिस दिन लाइव हुआ उसी दिन IPR से सारा डिटेल्स
I don't know their process as well. Somebody in my team knows. Yeah, whatever avenues are there, please go and register the song. There are cue sheets, right, man? You call it cue sheets. So you have to fill those.
Allow me to add something, sir. Because I'm working with your team, I'm from IPRS. The thing is, once you register a song with PDL, so we are also working very closely. So we are working on many formats which will be harmonized. So that is not, I'm not at the liberty to disclose more details, but closely PDL and IPRS are working. That's what he mentioned, that his teammate is working on it. So first register there.
So I was trying to be not so subtle. I was trying to be very subtle. Thanks for being not so subtle. So we are trying to work out, and let me disclose, right? So we are trying to work on a mechanism in my company where if you give metadata once, we will also do a server-based integration and submit it to IPRS. We are trying to work that out. One-stop solution. Let's see where it takes us.
Sir, I had a question for you.
Ragging हो रही है, बचाओ.
No, so like you mentioned one very interesting, like a marketing strategy, that when you got the song on Climate Change, you went and you kind of found out like data, and then you tagged the song with her.
She didn't do anything on it. That's our
No,
bad
but
luck.
you took that effort to tag it as a distributor, right?
Yeah.
So when you're doing these kind of services, so like when I'm like going through the contract, what will it be mentioned as a service from my distributor? Or will you coin it? That this is what my distributor will also be doing for me.
If you want to, see, you can put it in contract, right? But there are certain things, as I said, content marketing is key. आप contract में डाल लो, नहीं करो, and everything cannot be put on contract. So for example, I mentioned all profiles have to be updated. Spotify has different techniques, different tools. What do you do with those? Then your contract will be 200 pages, right? So you can't put everything into contract, but yeah, it's more like a discussion, it's a relationship. So if you are an artist, you should know that content marketing is key and discuss exactly those things with your distributor. That's what I was trying to. You can put it in contract. Some people have with us. But again, in contract you will put it in broad terms. What are the each and every step? You can't do that.
Yeah, because we get this query from a lot of our members who come and complain कि royalty क्यों नहीं बन रहा है. Then they also say that my distributor कुछ भी नहीं कर रहा है मेरे लिए. So just to keep those expectations transparent,
So,
what my distributor is supposed to do, what I am supposed to take care of.
Yeah, so distributor should do marketing, but only distributor. I mentioned about if you are an artist, why are you not doing so many other things? Right? Half the market, more than half, 90% of marketing is in your hand. You are the brand. You are the brand. Arijit Singh is the brand. T-Series is still a brand. Let me take a better example. Is PDL a brand? No. But PDL does Arijit Singh songs. So if a song comes to us, we are distributing, for example, Assis Kaur. Assis Kaur is a brand. Nobody knows PDL. She has to do 90% of the work. Having said that, the distributor also, one has to do education. So is your distributor educating you about the best practices in each DSP, and each DSP is dramatically different? So it's a discussion. Contractually, slightly different. Okay. No ragging allowed.
So we've got a question from
Our team?
No.
Okay.
So someone's asking you how to sync licenses and radio streams. Please let us know.
Sync licenses and radio streams. Okay. Bring this fellow to the office. I didn't understand the question fully. Let's not waste.
We have time for one last question.
Ankit.
I just want to add something over here. As artists were asking why their songs are not getting promoted by the distributor. So I own 23 music labels altogether. Hi everyone, my name is Ankit Gupta. I own 23 music labels and over 70,000 songs. So what happens is, even as a distributor in each genre, there are multiple artists and we receive multiple number of songs each day. And from those we have to actually choose number of songs which have to be promoted. As Prashant said, each and every store we can send only 5 to 10 songs. And if I am receiving more than 25-30 songs, I have to select from them. So it gets difficult actually at distributors end as well.
Thank you for saying that. So Ankit works with us. So he sends 25. By the time it reaches Sunetra and my team, it was 125 in half a day.
Right.
And 600 in that week. And 6,000 for a Spotify. Therefore, the pitch, what is the uniqueness of your song? How do you market it well? You literally need to become creative copywriters, apart from being creative songwriters. So, आपको आपके गाने को market कर, how do you sell the USP of your song is what you need to work. Ma'am.
Yeah, and ma'am, to answer your question about registering your old songs. So when you join IPRS, it's not that you will just start the journey, but yes, you will obviously go and register all, like an entire repertoire, whatever you have. Even if you have created 10 years back also, register it. Because see, you never know where the song is playing, where it is getting popular, or it is garnering revenue or not. The second thing is that, suppose if your label or publisher was already a member of IPRS, chances are there those royalties are parked somewhere. So we can pay you last 3 years back royalty if it has been collected and parked somewhere. And yeah, obviously we'll go and again repurpose your songs, we'll promote those songs. So register your entire.
I'll add to that. So a legendary music composer, duo, जिनके गानों पे मैं बड़ा हुआ था, ठीक है? तो they once came for a discussion through Atul sir, and then he said that okay, I should be getting so much money, right? So 3 years is okay. It could be earlier also, right? But उससे पहले तो आपको नहीं मिलेगा. So it is better, but आज भी वो गाने चल रहे हैं. So coming back to the philosophical answer, forward. Until unless you have a bolo tararara kind of situation, then obviously then the discussion becomes. Otherwise, look forward, do it right here. Okay, thank you everyone. I've been booted out by my friend here from All About Music. Thank you very much. And my name is Prashant Dogra, CEO of PDL. Any questions, we can take it offline also. Right? And that question from the whatever stuff you're doing. Thank you guys.
Mr. Dogra.